Imagine how awesome it would be if every time you named your price, your ideal clients were just like, yeah, sure, sounds great. So, I'm a growth and marketing strategist who comes from a corporate background in sales and events and community. And I spent most of my 10 plus years either pitching something, selling something. And what I'm about to share is are some of the best practices that I've learned about speaking confidently about pricing. Now, before I go further, I want to preface this by saying I feel nervous about pricing. Okay. Not always. Sometimes I go in and I'm like, I know this is the right price. I feel good about it. But sometimes I don't. And that doesn't mean that one is right and one is wrong. It just means that there are some factors at play that can either contribute to my confidence or detract from it. So, one of our listeners, Emilie Mascarell, she helps fragrance and beauty brands with their product marketing and product development needs. And she shared a really interesting question. She asked, do you have any tips on how to speak confidently about pricing to prospects and how to get a sense of their budget on the phone? Also, what do you think about listing your pricing online or like in a contact form or something along those lines? Now, if you're listening, raise your hand to yourself if you've been in Emily's shoes, right? Like we've all been there in our own ways. And I think there's always this feeling of what is the right way to sell, right? What is the right way to name my price? What is the easiest, most likely way to get a yes? And if it feels familiar, I want you to know you are so not alone. And good news, you're in the right place. So keep listening because I have a story for you. A former client of mine, we're going to call her Casey. It's not her real name, but I don't need to spill all the beans about my client. She was struggling because she was living in two worlds, right? She worked with individuals on kind of like a personal coaching level. She worked with corporations on more of an executive coaching and leadership training level. And so she was struggling because she felt like she couldn't really figure out whether her pricing should be different between the two. She kind of had this idea that corporate work should pay her more, but she wasn't entirely sure about it. And she also found that the decision-making process looked very different in both groups. And so when she found me, we really integrated my systems and my approach to marketing and to talking about our offers and what we sell so that she could establish pricing that made either sharing it, talking about it, both feel better to her and also increase her likelihood of a yes. Okay. And this is what I do, right? I am helping people figure these things out. So if we haven't met yet, my name is Frenchie Ferenczi. You are listening to Strategy Snacks, which is my weekly podcast delivering bite-sized business tips right to your ears. And I love helping experts and creatives grow their businesses. But to be honest, there is so much BS and bad advice out there. And when I started, shortly after, I got tired of listening to all the useless, extra, over-the-top work that all the gurus in quotes, were recommending. So what I really wanted to do was create easy and simpler ways for my clients to maximize the ROI on their precious time and energy. And so if you've been in a similar position to Emily and you're thinking about how can I find that confidence in talking about my prices? What are the best practices to talk about my pricing? There's three kind of questions that I want you to ask yourself. The first question to ask yourself is, who is your target audience? Because there is going to be a different approach to how you talk to a direct customer or to a business leader who is bringing you in. And with that in mind, you do want to have set different paths for them. And I know some people are like, just one system and that's it. I mean, sure, but you're going to decrease the likelihood of your conversions. You're going to get in the way of your own sales, and nobody wants that. So asking yourself, who am I talking to with this particular offer will allow you to customize, one, how you present your pricing and also how you show your pricing to different people, right? So imagine this. Imagine you go to a restaurant and you are, inviting a friend out to dinner and you look at the wine list and they give you, also the reserve wine list. And so you suddenly get faced with all these $500 bottles of wine, right? That's not something I would ever spend on wine because I don't care enough about wine. But your friend might really want that. And you would be like, wait, why did they give me this fancy wine list? I wish they just gave me the wine list with the $60 to $100 wines that like feel within budget for me. So it's kind of a similar thing is like if you are delivering your pricing in the wrong way to the wrong person or to the right person in the wrong way, it's actually just not going to land and will quickly create that like instant no. So get to know who you're pitching and really factor that in. Now, the second thing that you really want to ask yourself in that is, how is that person going to make decisions? Okay. So first question, who are you pitching? Second question, how do they make decisions? So a consumer is more likely to want more information up front, right? A consumer is more likely to feel more confident getting on a sales call with that. Or if they have access to your pricing, they're more likely to say yes if like they've seen the pricing and they're still on the call with you, right? Because you've kind of vetted them through that lens. Now, on the corporate side, corporate decision makers don't have a lot of time to process. And so they look at that like initial information. And then if the price is like feels crazy to them, they'll just like jump away. So with a corporate decision maker, I actually don't recommend presenting prices too upfront. I recommend doing a discovery call and then following that with a proposal call. So all that to say is that you really want to think about, one, who are you talking to? And then two, how does that person make decisions? Okay. Now, the third question to ask yourself is, what data, facts, and insights can you share and can you provide to help build your own confidence and your own sense of, doing the right thing when you are pitching the pricing? Because the dream scenario is that it's an easy yes, and people are just like, yeah, oh my God, amazing. The truth is, it never really works that way. Whether you're talking to more of a consumer or a business, I feel like we're hardwired to question pricing, right? We're hardwired to essentially protect ourselves and, ensure that we get the best possible deal. And so part of building the confidence and talking about the pricing isn't actually about, getting the yes, but it's really about knowing how you can show the value of what you do, whether it's through case studies, whether it's through projections, to those individuals. So now that we kind of go through that, I want you to answer these three questions for yourself. And the three questions, just to recap, right, are who are you talking to? How do they make decisions? And how can you use data to build your own confidence when you are pitching to them? So answer these three questions for yourself and make sure that you click the link under this video so that you can get a free guide from me that will definitely help you with this. And also so that you can get on my email list, right? Like you might not need another freebie. I get it. But I want you to get on my email list because once you're there, you will get all kinds of free goodies. And the best free goodie of all is that you can hit reply whenever you want and ask me a question, and I will be there to support you and talk you through it. So with that in mind, go forth, ask for your prices, make sure you're getting paid, follow those yeses, and increase your likelihood of getting those yeses. This is Strategy Snacks. I'm Frenchie Ferenczi. I am so glad you're here, and we will be back with more snacks very soon. Bye.